If you're a singer recording from home and you just haven't been happy with the results you get when you step up to the mic, I have some things to share to help you record some better vocals, turn your sessions from this to this, and make your vocal parts more dynamic and engaging. So as a music producer, I work with a lot of singers that record themselves, and I'll tell you that the pros send over a lot of vocals. Sometimes for one song, I might have a gigabyte or more in just vocals for me to download and set up in my session, which can take a lot of time just doing that by itself, let alone getting started on the actual production of the mix of the song. They send me over a lot of vocals for two reasons. One is so that we have multiple takes and we can comp together the best ones to create a really good vocal part. And the second is for vocal layering, which is something that surprisingly few self-recording singers do correctly. So what many singers do when they're new to recording is they assume a single lead melody will carry the entire tune, which more often than not can actually leave your vocal sounding a bit weak and even boring, especially if we're trying to make a modern pop or electronic song. So if that's the sound that you're going for, let's talk about how to layer up those vocals to get them sounding like the songs on your favorite Spotify playlist. If you're trying to create vocals like those kinds of songs, there's three significant things that they do in those songs to create that sound. First, think of your vocals like a house. Your lead vocal part is the foundation that all other elements build upon, so we have to make it stand strong by itself. To make your lead vocal part stand strong, pay close attention to the vocal inflections over the entire track. Obviously, you pay attention to the pitch of the vocals when you listen back to them, but it's also important to pay attention to the energy levels that you have and the angle that you approach the mic with. This is why most of the singers I work with will sing the entire song 3 or more times so that we have all of these different versions and we can choose the best parts from each take. These are important questions because a small change in position on the microphone will make your vocals sound way different from take to take. If you tend to move your head a lot when you're singing, you could go off axis on the microphone and you can create a nasally sound or a muffled sound depending on how you move. What some people will do in this situation if they just tend to get really animated when they're singing is that they'll actually back away from the mic and they'll have to make up the gain later because they'll be a little bit quieter when they step away. But if you pay attention to these things, you can manage them and you can create a really consistent and cohesive lead vocal part for your song. So second comes doubles and harmonies. Listen closer to the vocals on any top 40 song and you're likely going to hear these. Doubles and harmonies are usually turned down a bit in the mix from the lead vocal part and they're often panned out into the stereo field as well. So harmonies complement your lead vocal melody and they actually add extra musical depth to the song without adding any extra instruments. With harmonies, this is because you're adding on harmonic intervals on top of your lead melody recording. And if you're not experienced in musical theory, harmonic intervals are combinations of pitches that are in the same key of your song. So if you have a lead vocal melody, some common harmonic intervals you're going to find are octaves, fifths, and major or minor thirds depending on the key of your song, depending if it's happy or if it's sad.
I'm not the same as I was before when my head was underwater. I'm not the same as I was before when my head was underwater. I'm reaching higher than before.
And adding these harmonies can turn your song from just a monophonic melody, something really simple with just that lead vocal part, and it can actually turn it into this really dense and detailed vocal arrangement. So if you ever hear the term vocal arrangement, this usually refers to a lead vocal part, harmonies, and doubles as well. When done right, the instrumental below your vocals can actually be pretty simple because the vocals are doing most of the work to keep the song interesting in a melodic sense and to carry the track forward as well. So doubles, on the other hand, are duplicates of your lead melody recording. When you add these to your song and you pan them left and right, it really widens your vocals into the stereo field and it creates this immersive sound due to the slight delays that are happening between your takes. It's kind of like having a choir of people singing, but it's just all you. There's actually a lot of effects out there to replicate this kind of sound, but it's way more fun to record the real thing, I think.
Lovesick, they all know. He making me take it slow. That boy makes my heart go ba 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 da. Ba 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 da, ba 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 da, ba 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 da.
So if you stack doubles and harmonies together, you create this awesome vocal arrangement that becomes so much bigger than just singing on top of an instrumental, in my opinion. Lastly, adlibs and vocal effects. I like to call this ear candy because it can sound so sweet. And I know that's really corny, but it's actually true because as a music producer, this is usually where I can flex my creativity and add a lot of really fun effects. So adlibs can add an element of surprise to your song or even emphasize particular parts as well. Some examples would include echoing the words in a verse or chorus, and these are sometimes called stabs.
Days come to rise above the water.
Adlibs can also include spontaneous vocal flourishes that show off your vocal range. Sometimes these are called riffs or vocal runs.
Dragging me down, I fall to the ground as I'm letting my arms let go now.
They're the spontaneous, often freestyle moments that really keep your listeners engaged and interested in your song. These elements may seem insignificant, but I think they really let your voice shine through and stand out from the crowd, and they enhance the overall mood and texture and atmosphere of your song. So these things are usually placed in the background, and they have a lot of effects on them to play with the focus of the song. So if we think of a song as three-dimensional, where up and down is volume, left and right is in the stereo field, you could think of this front and rear kind of thing as well, and this is how close or far away something feels. So if something feels really close, that's usually because it's very dry sounding, whereas something that sounds far away feels like it's in a cave. That's because of time-based effects such as echo or reverb. I always say that adlibs and vocal effects can create an experience that your listeners want to keep coming back for. That's the final thing in a song that, for me, it just makes it so much more than just singing on top of a beat. It really makes it feel like something that was crafted to be like an experience. So if these ideas are helpful and you want to be able to come back to them quickly, I have a free vocal layering guide with quick videos, PDFs, and graphics that you can keep as reference when you're recording your next song. This will help you to remember what to do in each song you record, and also give you some ideas to try something fresh and new in your music to give it that professionally produced, super detailed sound. With this guide, I just want to help you record some awesome vocals from your own home and really tap into what you're capable of as a singer. To get this free guide, check out the link in the description. If you have any questions or thoughts, leave me a comment down below or check my links and get in touch with me.